Oh, great. We're on the next side of the...
Welcome back, everybody.
Here we
We're
are.
on to the first round on the east side columns of the April Badassness Tournament. We're going to be starting off with the TV and movie characters, followed by the villains.
I think you mean TV and movie. TV character and movie characters.
Yeah. TV character and movie characters.
Yeah.
If you guys have noticed so far, there's already been like one odd person that makes it in each bracket.
Laura.
In the first bracket, it was David Gunn, who surprisingly made it on the second round.
Incredible.
In the second bracket,
Upset.
out of all the characters that made it, the one that surprised me was Lee.
Really?
Because I haven't heard shit about Lee in so long, and then he made it in, and he was like...
He definitely felt like the odd one out.
He was like top 5 to top 8 in like so many lists.
He was the underdog. Actually, no, he wasn't an underdog. He was just the odd one out.
Yeah.
Because I think he had very strong, good motivations.
I agree.
I think the one that really shouldn't have been in there was Commander Shepard, which we discussed in the last episode.
Yes.
But now we're on to TV and movies, starting with Seed 1, Sean Connery's James Bond, versus Captain Jack Sparrow at number 8.
These are motivations?
Talking about motivations. Now, I will tell you, I've not seen any of Sean Connery's James Bond.
James Bond's always the same in every movie.
Is he?
And Daniel Craig certainly has more motivation than the rest, I suppose.
Get gadgets.
Get women.
Get women.
Save the world.
Save the world.
Get money, get paid.
I think I've seen Goldfinger. I think that's the only Sean Connery movie I've seen, just in general.
I've definitely seen Goldfinger. I've watched Moonraker. Is that Sean Connery?
That is a James Bond movie.
I think it's Sean Connery.
Is Austin Powers supposed to be like a play on?
Yeah.
Yes.
I wouldn't know. I've seen very little James Bond
and
movies.
I think he has more motivation than James Bond does.
Oh, you think so?
I mean,
He certainly got more motivation to get Poon.
Yeah.
Damn right.
And who was the other one? I've already forgotten.
Captain Jack Sparrow. That's an odd one.
What even is his motivation?
He's like a set piece. He's not.
See, that's
really.
That's kind of the problem with Jack Sparrow. Is he has a motivation in the first movie, and then in the subsequent
he wants
movies,
to get the Black Pearl back.
And then he does. Well, he wants to kill Barbossa.
Oh, okay.
I guess he wants to get the Black Pearl back.
he wants both of those.
He
things.
thinks killing Barbossa gets him the Black Pearl.
It's a cause and effect thing. One leads to the other.
Yeah.
It's so weird because like his motivation's never really laid out there very easily to see.
Mm-hmm.
And then in later movies, like his motivation was like in the second movie with the Kraken, it was he's like, oh, I'm just gonna get a whole bunch of souls, give them to Davy Jones, and be on my merry way. And then he's forced to do the good guy thing. Because, like, he sails away while the ship's getting eaten. And then he comes back because he feels bad. And then Keira Knightley, that name sounds familiar, maybe we'll see it later.
Uh-oh.
And then Keira Knightley just, like, handcuffs him to the boat and makes him do the right thing.
Also smooches him, and that really confused young Scott.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It confused young Will Turner, too.
Why did she smooch him? Was it just a betrayal?
I think it was to distract him.
Well, even then, why would she need that?
No, I feel like there was something there.
I feel like
she was strangely attracted to him.
Yeah.
Are you not?
Oh, I don't blame her.
Yeah.
If I would have gotten up close like that, you better believe I would have been.
Smell of rum on his breath.
Not my type.
The decay.
He's too disorganized. I want to be the disorganized one.
Was Pirates 2 the one with the Island of Cannibals?
Yeah.
Yep.
God, I loved that whole scene.
Yep.
What does he become?
Pirates 3,
they
go to save him.
Yeah.
And, like, I feel like there's a world of character development. Well, we're not on development. What's the motivation there?
I don't even know what his motivation is after he gets the Black Pearl.
That's kind of the problem.
To keep making movies.
Yeah. Like, he's achieved his goal by the end of the first movie. Also, he's just really poorly written because he's supposed to be a side character, and Will and Elizabeth are supposed to be the main characters.
But he steals the show.
But he stole the show, and then all the writers in the subsequent movies made him the main character.
You said subsequent. That's fun.
He was definitely the main side character.
It's like a weird. That's interesting. It's like they did on purpose what Black Panther: Wakanda Forever had to do on accident.
Go ahead.
The main character vanished, and a bunch of side characters had to fill that gap.
I see.
And
okay.
they just did that, but with Jack Sparrow.
Oh, yeah, because in the
purpose.
4th and 5th movie, it was like, all right, Will Turner's already fully written, and
I think he
fucking
in the
Elizabeth
5th one, I think he comes
done.
back.
I think he does too.
Or is it the 6th one? Is there a
It
6th?
might be the 6th
Wait,
one.
are there 6? I thought there were only 5.
I think there are 6.
There's the mermaid one and the ghost pirate one were the last 2 that happened. That's all I know.
I think there's only 5.
No, I think there was a 6th one with Orlando Bloom coming back.
Did it get canceled when the whole Johnny Depp
It
Amber
got
Heard
canceled
happened?
because he was unjustly accused.
She shit on that bed.
Yeah, she did.
Oh,
Thanks,
God
Amber.
damn, Amber. you deprived us of a 6th Pirates of the Caribbean.
If you would have let us got this 6th fucking movie, we
could
would have been
finally
done
know.
with this and moved on.
we could finally know.
I think a part of that is the fact that Johnny Depp is just lead man material.
Yeah.
Because he can just carry a movie
You
with
say
his
that like Orlando Bloom
quackiness.
can't.
No, I'm saying that the lady that plays Shuri can't.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
That's fair.
we went back to back.
The problem I keep having is he's James Bond. And
Yeah.
that's it.
Mhm.
like,
He's Superman.
Yeah.
But the other thing is after the first movie, he's just Jack
James
Sparrow.
Bond. Yeah.
Oh.
It's the same with James Bond, though. After
Yeah,
the
yeah.
first James Bond
So-
movie, he's just James Bond again. It's like the first one didn't have to happen.
So,
Unlike with Daniel Craig.
I know in the first movie, Jack Sparrow ends with getting the pearl back. And then the second movie, Davy Jones comes to they retcon that
Black Spot or something.
a debt. Like, it's like,
Mhm.
oh, I said I'd raise it for 10 years. And it's been 10 years. You're like, well, I haven't been the captain for 10 years. You're like, fuck you, you've been a shitty captain.
Right.
And, like, that's why everything's proceeding in the second movie. But, like, there's...
I think I'm gonna have to choose a meta decision here again, because how are we gonna talk about James Bond's character development?
yeah.
yeah.
Especially
Well, it's
Sean
the
Connery's.
Sean Connery's
Yeah,
James
yeah.
Bond. I
Daniel
don't think
Craig,
there is any.
Great. Solid. I love those movies with Daniel Craig. He actually has a character, I'll argue.
Who was before him?
Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah.
Idris Elba could be a good one, I feel.
You think?
Yeah, totally.
I digress.
I was gonna say, Idris and
Adam Driver.
Daniel Craig are, like, the only 2 names that I knew before looking them up.
Yeah.
Like, that I confidently knew, like, oh yeah, these are James Bond characters.
Idris Elba is not.
Is he not?
I just said he
No.
would be a good one.
Oh,
He
that's
would be.
awkward as fuck, dude. Why did I think that then? Was
I
it
don't
because
know.
you said it before?
Maybe.
I know
Okay.
the internet has.
I
Dude,
vote.
just call me out like that.
I vote for Jack Sparrow, even though I don't think he deserves to win this.
Yeah, it's a really tough one, but just drawing on that first movie alone, I think Jack Sparrow can beat all of the Sean Connery James Bond's motivations.
Yep.
Yeah.
Even though the character gets completely
Run through the
obliterated
gutters.
in the rest of the movies.
Especially in 4 and 5 were like dog shit for him.
In 5, he has zero motivation to do anything.
He really-
They're like,
He's
all right,
just there for a paycheck.
hey, be wacky and be Jack Sparrow,
Mhm.
Johnny.
There was somebody that like did something saying that like in each movie he progresses and it gets worse and worse because
Alcoholism.
alcoholism, and he's constantly having sunstrokes and is dehydrated. So this is Johnny Depp playing the character
What?
and it's like getting him bad. I'm like, and like the more
We'll
they
talk
went on
about
with
that
it,
in the character development.
oh my
John.
god,
It goes back to my shitty fan theory, where people are just making excuses for bad writing with these fan theories.
Well, in this fan theory, they explain this is why he runs the way he does. He runs like a normal person shouldn't be running.
he runs that way because Johnny Depp thought it would be funny.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it is. Kind of. For
So-
the first time.
I'll go with Captain
America.
Jack Sparrow.
I'll give it to Sean.
He just...
Pity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sean
Because
Connery.
it's Sean. I can't turn my back on him.
I'll
He's not even my
also
favorite
go
Bond.
with
No, but
Jack Sparrow. All right, another interesting matchup. Number 4, Forrest Gump versus number 5, Elizabeth Bennet from Pirates of the Caribbean.
That's actually... Is it? I'm pretty sure it was Pride and Prejudice.
Oh, that's
Uh-oh.
Elizabeth Swan from
Uh-oh.
Pirates of the Caribbean. I
Uh-oh.
saw Keira Knightley. Okay.
so I love the Pride and Prejudice.
Chris,
It's one of my
Thank
one of
God.
my favorite
Oh, shit.
Talk
romances
to
of
me.
all time.
talk to me about Keira Knightley's Elizabeth Bennet. What is her character motivation?
So she needs to
This
get
is
married.
why we brought Chris.
Right? She needs to get married. That is...
She wants to get dick.
She wants to get dick.
I really should put
She
these
needs
on
to
the
get married
bottom.
so her sisters can
Sorry.
also be married. Because that's apparently how it goes, is that oldest one has to get married first. And then she meets the man. And it's like, is this the
Mr.
right man for me?
Darcy.
I don't know. And then as it goes on, it's like, okay, yeah, they're good. He's good. And then they fuck.
What was that?
And that's your favorite part.
And I love, no.
Wait, they fought.
I
What
live.
what happened?
I live. They fuck.
They fuck.
Yeah, I live for meet cutes and like just little tiny things in romances.
I was talking about this. I was talking about this earlier with Monty. You would fucking adore Love is War. The anime Love is
Yeah.
War. Yeah.
Some would say it's the original Meet Cute.
Yeah. Love
So-
is War. Yeah.
I'm confused. So her motivation was to get married so that her sisters could also get married?
Yeah.
That's actually kind of compelling, I guess.
It's like a weird. She has to be the first one out the door, and they're just like, "Hey, come on."
Yeah.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of 10 Things I Hate About You, where the eldest daughter has to start dating before their father will let the youngest daughter start dating, and the younger...
That's probably the inspiration.
No.
Okay.
Taming of the Shrew was the inspiration for 10 Things I Hate About
Well,
You.
maybe it was the inspiration for Pride and Prejudice.
Can we confirm that?
I don't know much about Jane Austen.
Well,
I had the opportunity to take a class just on her, and I didn't.
I think you made the
However,
right choice.
What I love, one thing, this isn't about the character. However, in the book, they say that she's plain looking,
mhm.
Okay.
and they always get incredibly hot women to play her.
Who is she against? I've already forgotten.
Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump.
His motivation.
Is to run across America.
I don't think he
Is
really...
there any more motivation for her? Before
Honestly,
we switch to
no.
him?
He has the most...
It's the most basic.
He barely has any motivations as well.
I think he might literally have none,
Mhm.
other than Jenny.
Yeah, he wants Jenny.
Okay. That's
That's-
I
fair.
was gonna say, well, almost through the whole movie, he's just doing what people tells him they think.
Yeah,
he
he's
should do.
just kind of going. He's drifting through life because he is
So like
a
So
set
if-
piece.
Like his motivation was
same
just kind
motivation.
of making people happy for like the first like
I don't even really know...
80% of the movie.
That's just kind of a byproduct,
Yeah.
really. It's not... I don't really
I
think
think
it's
he
something
might
he's
be-
actively trying to do.
I think he's a godless sociopath.
Well, I think it's
No,
either
he's
he doesn't
just
have a
slow.
motivation.
Oh, I saw the movie way differently than you guys.
Well,
But
he
it's
was
either-
slow when he had the braces on his legs.
He wasn't that slow. He ran out of them.
Yeah, run for. Remember the scene?
Yeah.
But I think I don't know, man. I feel like that was his like half-hearted motivation for the first 80% of the movie, and then at the last 20% he was like, "Oh, I want this."
Yeah. He does get that kid.
Yeah.
And...
Is he smart?
No, he's...
Or is he like me?
Never go full retard.
I will.
Did...
I do every day.
Oh.
Here's the question. Did Jenny give Forrest AIDS?
Absolutely,
I think so.
100%.
And I think the kid also has it.
and she doesn't feel bad about it.
she,
But it's a livable condition now. Maybe not in the
she had
90s.
she had a clear enough conscience to die on him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, Jenny. Who played Jenny? Anybody know?
Robin Wright.
Robin Wright. I had a
You
crush
could
on
be
her when
lying.
I was a little.
You could be lying.
I might be.
I won't call you out on it because I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it was Robin Wright.
I had a crush on her, whoever she
I
was.
think you're robbing wrong.
It could be. I could be.
So, Elizabeth Bennet.
I'll give it to Lizzie.
Because I mean, like, let's look at the next round. What the fuck is
I'm gonna
character
give it- I'm
development?
giving it to
What is
Lizzie.
character development?
I want to see how much we can get Chris to talk about Pride and Prejudice, so I'm gonna vote Elizabeth. Everybody cool with that?
Chris,
Yeah,
I've never
yeah.
heard you be so passionate.
All
Dude,
right,
it's so
great job,
good.
Liz.
I have a manga version, I have the book, and I have the DVD of one of the movies.
With-
And
with-
and
is
I
it with the
watched
Keira Knightley
series.
one?
So,
No, I think it's Anne Hathaway.
Then you don't even know what the fuck you're talking about.
upcoming is one of two Harrison Ford characters.
Yeah.
Are we on? Which seed are we on? The number 3 seed?
Yeah.
All right, so Indiana Jones, I might have actually mixed them around because I thought Indiana Jones was supposed to be number 2, but the other one is Han Solo. and they were tied with each other for the highest, for second and third place.
Okay. Indiana Jones, played by Harrison Ford, versus Marty McFly from Back to the Future.
Okay.
Character motivations.
Played by Michael J. Fox.
I guess because he just wants to be a teenager and he loves his girlfriend.
No.
But I mean, we have to get to the crux of the movie.
Well, even then, I think that's very surface level. Like, that's true, but I think we could go deeper even at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah,
you think so?
Yeah, like he wants a better life.
He wants to matter.
Oh, yeah.
He wants to.
I'm sorry, you're just too loud.
Right. Like, Jennifer, his girlfriend, keeps trying to get him to send his mixtape off to a record producer.
And he's afraid of the rejection.
He's afraid of the rejection. He wants to get out of Hill Valley. He wants to mean something. He wants to matter. He doesn't want to be stuck with his parents because he thinks they're squares.
One of these is relatability.
All of his family is
But that's a very relatable motivation.
He wants to be more than his parents thought they could be.
And I guess Indiana Jones' motivation is that belongs in a museum.
I would like,
and he wants to stop them Nazis from getting it.
That's compelling.
I would like to make a confession really quickly.
Yeah,
I have never seen an Indiana Jones movie.
They're good. The Temple of Doom is not so great.
Okay,
but I think all of them, except for the fourth one, which doesn't exist, I think all of them are great. Really?
What do you mean it doesn't exist?
What doesn't exist?
The fourth movie.
Here's the thing. The thing is,
they're making a fourth one.
Indiana Jones's motivations are a little unclear. Like, if his motivation is to save archaeological artifacts, he goes about it a really weird way.
A lot of guns blazing.
Killing Nazis.
Like, he's supposed to be a college professor, and he's shooting men in the Middle East and fighting Nazis? It's like...
Sounds a lot like Brendan Fraser.
That one guy who's just spinning a sword at him, that wasn't a Nazi.
Right.
Who was that guy? He shot a guy.
I love the story behind that. Because, like, they had this whole fight scene.
Yes, everybody knows the story.
Did he have a sword or a whip? I thought he had a whip.
Indiana Jones has a whip.
Yeah.
Oh, well, see? I know nothing.
Did you know that Viggo Mortensen broke his toe in Two Towers?
Wow, really? When he kicked the orc's head?
Oh my god. Really? The black guy or the white guy?
It's okay, Chris. Hand hook car, door hook hand.
Hand core hard hard.
What?
So Indy just wants to protect archaeology from the Nazis, and Marty wants to actually be a human being.
He wants, like you said, he wants to matter.
Right. But Marty's motivation changes a little bit later on in the movie.
Yeah. He also gets an addition. Sure.
Yeah.
I just want to live, man.
I want to be matter, not just matter.
That's good.
Are you okay, Calvin? Calvin. Who's Calvin? It says it on your
Just say the whole scene. Keep going.
Another motivation of Marty's.
I don't want to fuck my mom.
Is he wants to get back to 1985.
Yeah.
He wants to get back.
And then they also invent a motivation for him in the second movie where he doesn't like to be perceived as a coward.
Yeah, he wants to be seen as a
that is
strong boy.
Nowhere in the first movie.
I noticed that when we binged.
It's a real big artifact of the second two movies not being originally planned.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody calls me chicken needles. Nobody!
I like to think that's due to remnants of the new timeline slipping in.
No, I'm going to disagree. I think they just shoehorned it in.
Fair.
The second movie doesn't even follow the time travel logic they established in the first movie, so...
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, there goes my theory.
It's a little all over the place. Great movies. I love them.
Great.
From everything I'm hearing, I think I would go with Marty McFly for motivation.
I do have a soft spot for the idea of, in Indiana Jones's core, he is an academic.
Mm-hmm.
He believes that these... I mean, this is just me saying this. I assume that's what he means when that belongs in a museum. I think he believes that, like, these artifacts, this stuff, should be shared with everyone.
Yeah.
Everybody should learn from this and not hoarded in the hands of fascists. So I can get behind that. I try to convince myself, but I'm going with Marty.
Indiana Jones is a much cooler character than Marty. I think maybe...
Well, actually, I don't even know about that. I think he's cooler on paper because, like, he goes into archaeology digs and kills Nazis and fucking whatever. But like, I feel like Marty's just like a good character.
Yeah. Indiana Jones also just kind of loses some points.
You give me a real Marty McFly vibe right now.
Thank you.
Can you skateboard?
No.
Can you hoverboard?
I can.
Oh,
I
shit.
can do
Whoa.
hoverboard.
Yeah, dude.
And Indiana Jones, if you have to fall back on your motivation as punch Nazi, I feel like you lose a couple of points. Not that that's not a compelling motivation.
Yeah.
It's just a little overdone and boring.
Yeah.
Chris?
I want to give it to Indy because
Miles.
I think I think that Marty is like designed to be cool. Like he's
Mhm.
supposed to be the character we, like, oh, I'm the Marty McFly.
Do you
I
not
dress
think that
cool
Indiana
and my
Jones-
parents don't understand me and I'll make it in the industry.
Well, maybe if he makes it to round 3 when we're judging them based on relatability.
Yeah.
And I want to
Well,
give it
this
to
will be
Indy.
relevant.
Yeah, but I want to give it to Indy. But
We got 2
If
Martys and an
we-
Indy.
no, I'm saying Marty.
Oh, you're saying Marty?
I'm a Marty.
I want to give it to Indy,
Oh.
but
If we were about to give it to Indy after Cody used the you lose points for punching Nazis bad,
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna flip the fucking table. I'm still feeling a certain way. I got this itch going on.
Captain America, dude.
Yeah,
He can't just win because Nazis are bad, John.
I agree. He can't.
It's the revenge
But
of the
if
shield.
other people did,
We are saying Nazis are bad, but as character
Well,
development goes,
Kyle's not.
Yeah, Kyle seems to have a different. I like the idea that he can't defend himself, and we're making him a Nazi sympathizer.
All right, a very interesting matchup here. Number 2, Han Solo versus number 7, Joey Tribbiani from Friends.
Oh yes.
Where did this?
Listen, man,
What
I
a
don't know.
dark horse.
I have no idea. So, like, for me to be able to get this, I did 4 lists from TV shows,
Mm-hmm.
and I did 4 lists from movies, and I gave them all like separate points. And Joey popped in the top 3 on every fucking
So
list.
he was the only one that scored high enough on the TV ones
Yes.
to even place.
Yes. And I'm like, dude, the next closest one, and this blows my mind, was fucking Walter White.
How in the fucking
he
shit does Joey beat out
And he
Walter
was like,
White?
he was like 13th in the list. Like, there were still a bunch of movie people in front of that.
Damn.
Behind him, Jesse.
Oh, Pinkman.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
yeah.
Well, we've got to work with the.
So we got Joey.
We gotta piss with the cocks we
So
got.
we were talking about this earlier because we knew Joey. Well, the 3 of us, not you, Cody, were talking about this earlier because we knew Joey was going to be in this. Who is he? Which one is he?
Joey is the one from the popular GIF where it's the guy that's just sitting down. We can find this and probably just throw it in there, Chris. Where he's just like sitting down, looking down at something, and his eyes just get really wide. He's like in a kitchen or something.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the only way I can really describe him. He's that guy from that GIF.
But like, what does he do?
It makes me sound like
He's
a
an actor.
fucking kid.
Yeah. So
Joey is an actor, and he likes to have sex with women.
yeah.
The character is an actor.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Wait, in the show, I thought you were making a joke.
No,
No.
he is in soap operas in the universe.
Oh.
And so like his whole motivation throughout the series is that I want to be a big actor and get parts and do all these things.
So that's his motivation.
That's his
and
main
also to bang
yeah,
ladies.
his
Whoa.
B motivation is
He has
Bang.
that. So the only scenes I've ever seen of Friends was like whenever I'm scrolling through Facebook and I see reels of stuff, and like my Facebook is set that once it finishes, it goes on to the next one. So if I set my phone down, like it'll come back to it. I don't watch them. I don't watch the Friends things. But
Really
like
defensive.
there's times that I've seen it where like he just constantly takes the blame for somebody else being like sleazy. The one that's sticking to my head was his other roommate. I don't know which one, not the archaeologist or whatever.
so it's Chandler if it's not the
How
archaeologist.
have I never watched
Sure.
Friends and I know more about this show?
I've only absorbed by walking through the living room while a rerun was on.
Yeah.
But Chandler was inviting a girl over and tried to have like a fucking sex tape with her, and one of the other girls, the popular girl,
Angela Lansbury.
Jennifer Aniston,
Yeah.
walks by and sees this. She's like, "Are you fucking making a video on the first date?" And he's like, yeah, I was," and just takes the fall for Chandler.
And then everybody's like, "Oh, that Joey."
Right.
You fucking slob.
And then we got Han Solo, huh?
It's amazing how Han Solo is going to win, and we haven't said a single word about it.
So Solo?
I'm willing to say Solo, but I do want to talk about Han Solo.
Yeah, absolutely.
His motivation in the first one is in his first movie is to get money.
I feel like when we first meet him, his motivation is to be free. He could be anywhere in the galaxy, but he's in this bar in the middle of nowhere on some no-name planet because nobody's out to get him. Nobody's telling him what to do, except for Jabba. And he likes it that way. He likes being his own boss. He likes running his own ship, taking whatever jobs he wants,
Right.
and he doesn't have to worry about people caring what he does.
I think the best part about this conversation that we're having is that we don't have to include Solo, a Star Wars story.
Yeah, because it's only Han.
It's
Han
only Harrison
Zimmer.
Ford.
What's his name? Harrison
Zimmer.
Ford. Also, I kind of feel like you have I think you, Cody, have a bit of a weakness for this kind of character.
I agree.
The scoundrel?
Yeah, the lovable scoundrel type.
Yeah, I could say so. I mean, Han Solo is definitely one of my favorite characters, if I still like Star Wars.
Yeah.
Well, like, weirdly, the next person I go to is Gangplank from League of Legends. You had a weakness for that character?
Well, just because I played him the most and I was the least shit at him.
Oh. So Han Solo.
I guess
So,
Han Solo.
Mm-hmm.
Do we want to talk about how his, character completely gets assassinated between 6 and 7?
Yeah.
Where it's just
Yeah.
his whole arc in the first trilogy was him learning to love and support his friends
And not only that,
make a new family.
I feel like it was like learning to give a shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like he learned that sometimes it's bigger than just me, and that's
I think-
okay to matter.
I think I'm a sucker for the duo of, the hero who doesn't want to be the hero,
And his
and then the
dog.
sidekick.
Oh.
Because, looking at it and saying it that way, cutting back to Jack and Daxter, and Jack 2, which was, probably one of my favorite games growing up, he didn't want to be the hero.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing here. I'm a bad guy now.
He's
I don't
Dark
give a
Jack.
shit. He's Dark Jack. And then Daxter, the comic relief, the furry friend, was like, nah, dude, we gotta do this.
He's the plucky heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chewbacca couldn't physically say that, but
That's my Chewbacca noise.
there was so much just sign language from him, body language,
Mhm.
that Chewbacca had his own fucking character without even saying a real word.
Also, while we're here, I'm gonna jump on this bandwagon. Do you think Chewbacca and Bigfoot would be friends? Like if they hung out?
No, because Bigfoot isn't real.
I was gonna say
So
no.
Chewbacca is? Chewbacca is real.
I was gonna say no because Bigfoot is territorial.
You think so?
Yeah.
He'd rape Chewbacca, I bet.
I think he'd lose the
There is a comic.
Chewbacca uses guns. So.
That's right.
There is a comic where
Wow, what a surprisingly pro 2A argument.
the Millennium Falcon crashes onto Earth 11,000
In a galaxy not so far away.
No, our Earth 11,000 years ago, and Han dies and Chewie survives, and he survives to the present day and is Bigfoot.
How do you...
That's
he
weird.
survives to the present day? They live that long?
I don't think-
I thought you were
I
going
don't
to say,
think they do.
fuck a bear or something.
I don't think they do.
Even this is shitty fan theory levels of writing, and it's an actual published
Yeah.
story in Star
Welcome
Wars.
to the Star Wars extended universe.
I've heard that it was George Lucas's intention that the reason there are humans in Star Wars is because they're us from the future who went back into the past with a time machine or something. That was his apparent intention, and
That's
thank God.
So,
that's kind of lame.
yeah, it's very lame.
Here,
So,
okay,
go ahead.
so Han Solo passes. We're on to villains now.
Who we got?
The system has failed us, gentlemen.
the system has failed us.
Because
hurt me.
there's no way these should be seated like this. We have number 1, Darth Vader, against number 8, Heath Ledger's Joker.
Oh, fuck no. Oh no.
And welcome to the one that I was most excited and shocked for.
If
when creating the
anything,
brackets.
the seed should be reversed.
Oh my god.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think
do feel like Darth
Heath Ledger's
Vader-
Joker is... I don't know how absurd this is to say. I think it might be the best performance I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
I
Just
can
hands down.
absolutely agree with that. I feel like Darth Vader always gets number one because every list, he was number one.
Iconic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the icon.
Mhm.
He's so easily definable.
When you think of a movie villain, you just automatically think black
Helmet head,
helmet head.
respirator.
I guess if we're going to the motivations here, let's get it going. For the Joker, it's either... I see it in two ways.
Either he has no motivation,
Cause chaos.
or that is his motivation.
Or, and if I go... I think this isn't even deeper. I think this is above. I think his core is cause chaos, and above is prove to Gotham that Batman is one bad day away from him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
And that's great.
especially Heath Ledger's. That's what he's trying to do.
He does
Also,
such a good-
he just comes out and says one of his motivations. He's like, we kill the Batman.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, there's a goal.
Also,
he taught me a very valuable lesson, which was the line, if you're good at something, never do it for free.
I was about to say, not to suck Christopher Nolan and Heath Ledger's dick, but the fucking writing in that scene alone with all the gangsters and, like, I'm gonna make this pencil disappear. That, the writing in that scene alone is better than, like, it's like at the 95th percentile of all superhero shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When he's like, just say, whoever came up with the line, if you're good at something, never do it for free, in response to, why haven't you killed him already, needs a blowjob every day.
So it was hard for me to make the villain category and determine things like how to choose who we're going to choose. And the first round being motivation was solely because of the villains.
Mm.
Because then you look at development and a lot of villains fall off after that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because they
But-
lose at the end.
Yeah. And like you look at like the Joker and like I know we're not on development, but like he doesn't do much to develop. He doesn't do much to change. He was a one-off movie villain.
In
It
fact,
was a great performance.
you kind of get the impression in The Dark Knight that he thinks he's won at the end. And he
Yeah.
kind of did, based on, like, the 8-year hiatus or however long it was that Batman took.
Right.
Mm. But continuing on with motivation, there was another time where he had somebody prisoner, and he's like, "Why don't you just kill me? Like, why don't you what happens if you kill me?" And he's like, "Oh well, if I kill you, I just go back to being a common street thug.
Yeah.
Like with you, I can have connections, you know." And
matter.
yeah, this is a hard one.
We could just continue to, and we haven't said a single word about Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Darth Vader's motivation. He wants to... I guess it's Anakin's motivation?
So he was not Darth Vader until Episode 3, technically.
But to be
But you
fair,
see
This
it
is
festering
James-
all the
this
way
is-
through.
This is James.
Anakin's motivation is what turned him into Darth Vader.
Mm-hmm. But like he just
Yeah,
said,
But he doesn't exist yet.
But like
you
he
have
said,
to take the first three.
this is Heath Ledger's Joker and James Earl Jones.
Oh, okay.
Darth
All right.
Vader.
yeah, which is
So his motivation is to...
he definitely
What?
wins if we
Carry
weren't
out
talking
his
about this.
orders.
Yeah, like to
Especially in the first movie, he's
be the fist of the Emperor.
Yeah.
well, even
The Emperor
even then
doesn't exist,
the
though.
Yeah.
in the first movie that's not. He's almost just like a heavy
Yeah.
for Grand Moff Tarkin. Like in many ways, in that first Star Wars movie, Grand Moff Tarkin is the villain,
Mm-hmm.
and
If I-
Darth
I'm
Vader
ready.
is his henchman. And it's only, I think it's just because he had such a frightening presence that all those little kids that went to see
Man.
Star Wars were just terrified of him, and it left this indelible impression on them.
One of the things that I thought in Episode 4, early on, like I think it was like the second or third time that I watched it, I was like, he just picks that guy up by the throat.
Mm-hmm.
But then
Just
like
one
two
hand.
scenes later, he's choking a guy with the Force. So like, he chose to just pick him up.
He chose to
by
pick
the
that
throat.
motherfucker up by the throat.
With one hand.
No, this person is so beneath him. He doesn't even need the Force to choke him.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, in the first movie, he's kind of just an obstacle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for
Like-
the hero to overcome.
Because, like, you don't really start to see a depth and motivation. Like, so you're told that he killed Anakin. He killed Luke's dad in the Clone Wars.
Which feels like a total retcon.
Yeah,
Yeah. And that's about it. You don't learn much else about him, do you?
You don't learn anything until the sixth movie, where
you're given some context a little bit
Yeah.
with his like, I don't know, like.
It's frustrating because as iconic of a character
I don't like that
as
Darth Vader's losing this.
as iconic of a character as he is, he's not that great of a character.
I will say that we have to take a weird strategy with this. Because you look at episode 4 where he gets a weird sense of a presence of force from Luke when they're going down the line for the Death Star.
Oh, see, now that's during the trench run.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about when they first arrive on the Death Star, and he's like, I sense
Presence
something.
I've not felt since.
And that was...
I always thought he was talking about Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
I assume the same thing.
Like, I guess he could be talking about Luke.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He could
But
have
he
been.
never felt like the only presence that he felt from Luke would have been when she was in the womb. When he was in the womb.
Yeah.
But
Force is strong with this one. Or maybe they just have a similar Force signature.
the strategy that I'm going towards is in episode 5 you get the iconic line of I'm your father.
Mhm.
And then now if you go back, that hesitation that happens, now he starts to get like, I guess that's development. But
Okay. Continue your thought.
because
Because I just realized he does gain more motivation.
like
his motivation becomes, we can overthrow this motherfucker.
Exactly.
Yeah.
and like I don't want to go to episode 3, but like
Go for it. I mean, he
it's the
voiced
same.
him. He voiced him in.
Oh, I guess at the very end he
Yeah, yeah.
did.
It counts!
That part counts.
No!
But like
Deborah!
he straight up tells her in episode 3 that like I'm more powerful than the Emperor. I can overthrow him. We can rule the galaxy together. Which is the same thing that he wanted in episode 6, obviously. I mean, he wanted
Luke.
nope. Wow, I'm blanking on the director's
Padme?
name.
Oh,
George Lucas?
George Lucas, thank you. Wow, holy shit.
Irvin Kershner?
But he wanted the movies to like rhyme and like fit.
like poetry.
So I get that, like, I get the idea of wanting that Anakin to want the same thing as the later movies. Anakin.
I think that's all bullshit.
It's not derivative. I'm rhyming. Like poetry.
All that stuff about ring
They're
theory,
circular.
I think that's total horsecock.
But
That being said, go ahead.
yeah, I'm sorry. What Scott said with they can overthrow the Emperor together
Mhm.
and, rule as father and son, like, that became his motivation. But
Yeah.
you go back to the 4th movie and that's when, like, you see, like, bits and pieces of it. Obviously, you can't see it so easily lined up because I don't even think they expected a 5th and 6th movie to come out.
Mhm.
Or a 2 and 3 at the time.
Yeah. Well, that's why I think the first movie is so well written and well directed, in that it's a self-contained movie.
Yep.
The only loose thread is that Darth Vader
spins away.
doesn't
Yep.
die.
Yeah.
When we already established Grand Moff Tarkin is basically the bad guy, and he does die, and everybody has a happy ending.
Chewbacca doesn't get a medal.
It's a Western opera in space.
Space opera.
Kinda,
You
yeah.
said that.
But Darth Vader does gain motivation to betray the Emperor and recruit Luke in the 5th movie, and that's it's one of the most iconic scenes in movie history.
Mhm.
Undercut completely by the rest of Star Wars getting in the way of itself, and that just being the motivation of every single Sith.
Yep.
Yep.
I think
But he did it first.
I think I'm gonna say the Joker because specifically Heath Ledger's betrayal of Joker wanting this. The Joker always seems to want this because this is the most. I think this is what he always wants because it's the most interesting thing his character has outside of just being a source of mayhem. Is one bad day is all that separates you from me,
Yeah.
and I
And
think
showing that to the world.
and I loved that movie. I loved what Heath Ledger did with that.
Okay.
I'm going to say
We're going to go in order here because it's about to be a tie.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to say Darth Vader because
Okay.
I feel like he gains more motivation throughout the movies.
I do agree.
All right. I'm going to say Joker.
All right. Chris?
Joker.
No sentence.
No.
Wow.
That's okay.
Because,
I'm honestly okay with either one winning with these guys. Like, you don't lose with this.
I know he's done. He's done after this round. But there is motivation and there is no motivation, so I have to give it to the one with motivation.
Okay.
We were just talking about his motivation.
Were you not paying attention? I just had an entire 10-minute conversation.
I guess I didn't get to voice the fact that I don't feel like he does.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
We did forget about Chris.
He's just used as the body.
The heavy.
Yeah. And so...
All right. Fair enough.
I, like the little goblin man inside me telling me to destroy everything.
Well,
you have a goblin man inside of you?
Who's next?
Let's all just lean back and let Scott talk to us for the next 10 minutes.
Oh!
Hold on a second. Let me just...
We got Benjamin Linus from Lost versus Gustavo Fring from Breaking Bad.
Oh, yeah, shit!
I
can tell you both their motivations. We'll start with Gus, because I'll have to think about Linus. Gus, his motivation, this is a huge spoiler, he got in, I don't know if this is why he got into it, but he was into the meth trafficking business. He had a chain of restaurants that they could use the trucks to move meth into America, and his partner, romantical, was the scientist, the cook, and they went to approach a Don. The Don was like, I don't really remember why, some sort of problem with the cook, and the cook ends up getting killed.
Okay.
But Gus is like, I'm just in it now. I'm stuck. And his main motivation throughout the entirety of Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul as well is he wants to get to the point where he can crush the Don and his family.
Is the Don and his family responsible for his partner's death?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What is Better Call Saul?
Better Call Saul is like a prequel about Saul Goodman, who was their lawyer, Walter White's lawyer in Breaking Bad. He was actually, arguably, Better Call Saul is a tad better.
Really?
Which is really saying something.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's very much saying something. It's a great time for TV, guys. Last decade. As far as Ben Linus, his motivation, so he lived on the island. The island's magic. It goes through time. He was a child of scientists who worked for the Dharma Initiative. But on this magic island, there were natives, and he sided with them, and he wanted to be the chosen one on this island. Like, the island has a chosen one, quote unquote, and he wanted to be that. So he's like, I'm just gonna fucking make myself be that. But then, lo and behold, he's not the chosen one, and he's a pissy little baby about it, and he's upset about that. Then I think he loses at the end.
And that's his motivation, is that he's upset about it?
No, his motivation is that he wants to be the chosen one.
Okay.
He's gonna make himself be the chosen one. Like chaos magic.
Okay. That feels a little high concept.
Mm-hmm.
A little abstract compared to Gus.
Wanting revenge is his... I guess...
So,
he wants a stable meth empire so that he can use it as a crutch when he crushes the Don's empire.
Revenge is stock character motivation, but it's understandable.
Mm-hmm.
He hates the Salamancas. That's the name. I just remembered it.
I was watching Star Trek The Next Generation.
Yeah.
And the actor who plays Hector Salamanca's, I think his name's like Mark Margolis or something.
No idea.
He was in an episode of Next Generation.
Yeah.
As like this alien scientist. I don't know why I brought it up, because it's a complete non sequitur. I just recognized him. I'm like, oh, that's Uncle Hector.
It's interesting that he's...
Trekkie recognized Trekkie.
I hate Star Trek.
It was just on in the background. It was just on in the background.
It's interesting
that...
the
same shit happens with me with
Wait, what am I talking about? We're not talking about him. We're talking about fucking Gus.
Yeah, so let's segue back into this.
So with that in mind, that's the appeal I'm going to give you guys.
I'm
Okay.
with Gus then.
There's not much of a conversation we can have.
Right.
It feels like Gus has just like this more grounded motivation to him. And like from the scenes that I've seen of him through all my Facebook clips, are like he's very like poised about his motivation.
Yeah, like he definitely has OCD. Like I'm not sure if they outright say it, but he has OCD. Like the character is very compulsive and like needs everything clean and that kind of stuff.
Very unflappable.
Yeah.
Too.
He either invented or perfected the idea of the like straight backed, horrible, ice cold eyes villain.
Mm-hmm.
Where like he's methodical, he stands up slow, and you don't really know what he's gonna do. They made a joke about this in Key and Peele, where he's like doing something really laboriously. He's like eating his lunch and he's putting the straw in the juice box. And the guy's like, "What are you doing? What is he gonna do? I don't know what he's doing." And he just like, you're watching this whole thing and he's just doing it methodically, and you get to see that whole thing, and then he ends up slitting a guy's throat.
I think I have my decision.
Who was the other guy?
Benjamin Linus.
Okay. Benny Boy is a pissy baby, and Gus is love revenge, and I gotta go with love revenge.
Love revenge.
I think I am more of a fan of Gus because it feels like it's in more of a solid foundation.
I'm gonna go with Ben,
Ooh.
mainly because I cannot support and endorse the pervasive
marriage.
homosexual agenda in TV.
We
It
have
has
a
nothing to do
problem.
with motivation.
We have a
No.
problem, guys.
What do you think
I
Kyle's going
was
to say about this?
genuinely going to say Ben.
Okay.
Because I do like that high concept weird motivation he has. I like the idea of, why can't I be the chosen one? I'm gonna fucking be the chosen one. You're gonna choose me, island. And then at every turn, the island's just like, nah, bro. No.
Damn. Okay.
Well, we have gotten to our first tie. What now?
What do you think Kyle What do you think Kyle would choose?
Kyle might have seen Breaking Bad.
I think he'd choose Gus. I think he'd choose Gus just because I do get the impression that Kyle likes that kind of villain.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of methodical.
Very
one that
poised.
he could portray.
I 100% see that about Kyle.
We might be totally wrong.
I can't wait till we get 1,000 comments from Kyle in this episode.
Well, damn. The liberal Hollywood wins again.
All right.
All right. I'm not high-fiving you.
Oh.
Who's next?
All right. Number 3, Hannibal Lecter versus number 6, Joffrey Baratheon.
Okay, you guys are going to talk to me about Joffrey.
He's a little shit.
What's his motivation?
He's also a pissy baby.
The actor's motivation is not acting anymore. I can tell you that. He got so much flack for playing Joffrey and like actually, I guess, doing a decent job at it.
Yeah, he must have. You're supposed to hate him, I assume.
You are supposed to. He got so much hate that he's like, I never want to do acting again.
Like
That's
the
really sad.
like the kid the Anakin kid.
Yeah, the kid that played Anakin.
Jake
episode
Lloyd.
1.
Yeah.
But I mean, you were supposed to like Anakin.
Yeah.
Fair.
It's just George Lucas is bad at writing.
Yeah.
And he ruined that child's life.
He was in
He
that
did.
one movie about
Jingle All the Way.
Yeah, that too.
Was
But
he actually?
he was in a movie about boat racing.
Oh.
You can't get away from it.
Now this
Is
so with Hannibal Lecter, his motivation, I guess, does it have a specific actor?
Anthony Hopkins.
Okay, so I guess that means not Red Dragon.
He was in Red Dragon.
He was Red Dragon.
Wasn't that a prequel? He was a young man.
Yeah,
It was still Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah.
Really?
They remade
I never
Manhunter.
saw Red Dragon. What was Red Dragon?
That's the
It's like
prequel
prequel.
to
Why He
Silence
Eats
of the
People.
Lambs. Yeah.
Oh. See, I'd seen Silence of the Lambs, but I did not know there was a prequel
Was
to
it? He
Was
was
it not?
already in prison in Red Dragon.
Was he?
Yeah.
Shit, what's the one where he like explains? It's like his prequel.
Wasn't it?
There was a TV show.
I think the third movie in the series, Hannibal, I think, was a prequel. I don't know if it had Anthony Hopkins in it, though.
That one,
I was
the
gonna
one
say,
I'm thinking of,
so-
almost certainly didn't because he was a young man.
I know for sure that there was another Hannibal way down on the list that I thought was a TV show.
Yeah, the TV show is pretty solid, I think.
Oh, really?
That was Mads Mikkelsen?
Mads Mikkelsen.
Yeah.
Apparently it was really good.
Yep.
Unfortunately, we can't claim it.
I was gonna say he was down near like number 15 or 16.
Okay, what's his motivation in Silence of the Lambs?
In Silence of the Lambs, his motivation, I guess, is to learn about Clarice. He wants to know her. He also wants to get out of prison.
That's his. Yeah, I'd say that's his motivation.
I don't think it's about any kind of lofty thing like freedom. I think he wants to get out so he can keep fucking eating people.
Yeah.
He also enjoys just fucking with people.
That's probably the stronger motivation here. Is he wants to manipulate Clarice into getting her to tell her things.
Well, I think Anthony Hopkins himself motivation for doing Silence of the Lambs was just messing with her because it was his idea to do. So every day on set he'd just go and scare her.
I knew you were going to talk about this.
And so eventually when they were doing that scene, that wasn't in the script and he just did it. So that look of terror on her face was just her look of terror.
Wow.
And I'm like, all right, Anthony.
I'm surprised Jack Torrance isn't on this. He's iconic.
Oh, no.
Jack Torrance.
For Shining. Anyway, I guess, and then what would you guys say Joffrey's motivation is?
He wants to be king.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And he wants people to know it.
Honestly,
he wants to have the power to, honestly, kind of like Hannibal Lecter, he wants the power to manipulate people.
But he's just not good at it. Is that the idea?
He's good at it in the sense that he has the power to do it because he is king.
Yeah, he became king, but what am I trying to say? He's young, inexperienced, like he's like childish.
Mm-hmm.
What is there's a word that I can't think of.
That's a good word.
Yeah.
Churlish.
Churlish.
Deplorable.
No, but like he wanted the power, but he was inexperienced and he didn't know how to handle it. He was immature.
Mm-hmm.
And he got what he wanted early on. And from there, like, you don't see any other sort of motivation. It was just, I want my dad to die or move on so I can become king.
Everything kind of derives from that. Like, because he's king, he wants a queen. And because he's king, he wants to kill his enemies. And
I guess he wanted to be king was his motivation. And then when he became king, he wanted respect.
Okay.
Is how I would look at it.
Yeah, because that's really telling. Because in one of the early episodes, I think episode 1 or 2, he's having that he's having that conversation with
Sansa?
Tyrion.
Oh yeah.
And
at the dinner table?
No, I think Tyrion had just like woken up in a stable or something. But Joffrey had insulted somebody, and Tyrion, who is the least respected member of his family, who has, no respect from anybody, Tyrion just slaps Joffrey right in the face, and he's like, hey, no, you are going to apologize for what you did.
I think I've seen this.
And if a peant like Tyrion is going to treat Joffrey that way, it means that he really doesn't have power.
Yeah.
And, like, it kind of drives Joffrey to, like, so much anger.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, a very similar scene happens later on, but it's Tyrion showing how he can be a professional in court. Because Joffrey's king, he's beating the shit out of Sansa because Sansa's brother is beating the shit out of his armies. And so, like, he's punishing her in the court. And then Tyrion shows up and just like, hey, dude, that's your fucking wife. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you need to treat her with respect because it's your wife.
Mm-hmm.
And Joffrey says, fuck you. And he's like, hey, my guard will kill you. And then, what is it, Bronn?
Yeah.
Like, it was an awesome scene. It was a Tyrion scene. It was definitely not a Joffrey scene. But it just goes to show you that, like, even at that far into the show, still was not getting the respect that he wanted to get.
Mm-hmm. And this is, he's not even prince anymore.
This also makes me realize that Tyrion lost to Joey.
Well, and another thing is this is a complete non-starter of a conversation because it shouldn't be Joffrey Baratheon in this list. It should be Tywin Lannister.
I agree.
He's a much more compelling villain.
Absolutely.
Well, who do we think?
And a much more clearly defined motivation.
I don't think there's much competition here.
For me, I look... it's because I don't like Game of Thrones, I can tell you that for sure. I look at Hannibal Lecter, and like the compelling thing to me is not he wants to manipulate. It's what I see is he knows that he's smarter than you. He wants you to know that he's smarter than you, and he's going to make sure of it. And I like that.
Yeah,
I think Hannibal Lecter.
I'm gonna vote for him.
But
it's
gonna be one of those where what the fuck development.
It's a weak vote for me for Hannibal Lecter too, just because
the second one.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Chris.
If just on execution alone, it's Hannibal, and it's also my love of Hannibal, and the fact that I love Silence of the Lambs so much.
How many more pairings we got?
We got one more.
I'm surprised we don't have more horror people.
Yeah. Well, we're back to the video game genre with this one.
Right.
Our last pairing, number 2 seeded GLaDOS from Portal versus number 7 Sephiroth from Final Fantasy VII.
Okay, I don't know shit about Sephiroth. I don't know what.
Do you know about Sephiroth?
Nope. Never played the game.
Do you know about Sephiroth?
I played Final Fantasy VII.
Thank God, because I was just a Final Fantasy X genre.
The whole genre of Final Fantasy X.
Sephiroth
2 games.
Is that it's his motivation sort of changes throughout the game.
That's a lie. I did play the remake.
What does he want to do? What
So first he's like, I have to be the greatest soldier. It's the same motivation that Cloud had at the beginning of his journey, not in the game. And then it becomes, I'm a horrible monster. So his motivation becomes, I'm going to be that horrible monster. And then it becomes, the world is not perfect, but I'm perfect. So I will destroy the world and turn it into my own image.
Oh, he's Thanos.
He's God.
Yeah. And that's why he's using Meteor at the end of the game.
So,
what if Sephiroth is the god at the beginning of the Bible? Have you ever thought about that?
Why are you just now coming to this realization?
I hadn't.
He didn't know about Sephiroth before this.
Yeah.
But now the connection is so obvious that it jumps right off.
So I'd say his main motivation and what we would base this on is to take the imperfect world and recreate it by destroying it.
So that his main motivation is to recreate the world in his own image.
Yeah.
That's a lofty goal.
No, I know.
He's strong enough to do it.
No, I something that wasn't really focused on in the game until like very late is like there's certain like special races of like people and that are like more in tune with like the magics of the world. And he was like one of them, right?
So an alien crashed down.
Is this going to be like Scientology?
No. An alien crashed down.
Damn it.
And they were found by the government, and so they took DNA from Genos. I think it was like Genos or Genova. Yeah, Genova. And added it to a fetus. And that fetus was Sephiroth.
Okay.
And so that's why he creepily like looks after his mom in the tank and just says mother.
And the mother is the alien?
Yeah.
So
okay.
I guess
wait, hold on. The alien DNA.
That's what he calls mother.
It doesn't make sense. That would be the father. He was an embryo.
Well,
so
he's a weird boy.
I often look to Kingdom Hearts to kind
What's
of
the
get
characterization of Sephiroth in Kingdom Hearts?
Well, I looked at Kingdom Hearts actually to get a better idea of his character, because like, yeah, he's the main villain in the game, but like, it's all like it's a text-to-speech game. It's a text-based game, so really you can just mash X all the way through it.
Somebody still writes it.
You're right. But in Kingdom Hearts, they very clearly kind of state that like, oh, he is the darkness to Cloud. And there's a connection there. And I'm like, oh, this is probably just fucking Disney trying to, like, make it simpler for everybody to understand. But then, when the remake of Final Fantasy VII came out, like, that's what he was. He was there to tease Cloud and play this game with him and try to get him to just, like,
he was
give
the
into
shadow.
anger.
He was the shadow that loomed over Cloud's brightness.
So
What game is he teasing him with? Gay chicken?
Yeah.
Who has the bigger sword?
So in the
It's
So kinda.
in the original game, all the soldiers, all the members of Soldier,
Mhm.
the reason their eyes glow weird and they're
It's because of the Mako, because
Yes.
of the magic energy.
however, the reason they don't die because they were exposed to the Mako energy is due to the fact that they're all like they made super soldier serum out of Sephiroth's DNA.
Yeah.
And so there is
So
literally a
Sephiroth
connection.
was the father.
Yeah, to all the soldiers, and Cloud is a clone of Zack, his best friend and
See,
soldier.
this is where it gets way too crazy for me, and I dip out.
What a twist!
Never once.
That was
So-
from the prequel game for the PS Vita or PSP, whatever.
And then this remake-
that's Kingdom Hearts.
Dream Drop Distance.
See, the only reason I know this is because I watched a 4-hour video talking about why Final Fantasy VII was okay.
So hold on. Okay. All right. GLaDOS, huh? I
Gotta
think.
run experiments.
Feel free to disagree with me. I feel like her motivation is pretty simple. It's fun.
Mhm.
Yeah.
She was built to do tests. That's what she wants to do.
Yeah. She's a robot. She's a computer, so things don't deviate from that very much.
Yeah.
But now, let's take a step forward to Portal 2.
She wants to reclaim her position after you. So
Well, it starts out in Portal 2. She wanted you to do tests in Portal 1, then she wanted to kill you at the end of Portal 1.
Well,
Then in Portal 2, she really wanted to kill you.
yeah.
And then she became your best potato friend.
So her character develops, certainly. But I think her motivation is still just to
Test,
test, just run the
specifically
facility.
The portal gun, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I guess, yeah.
And
Although
I guess
no,
in a roundabout way, it's going to detest all of the functions throughout the entire Portal games.
hmm
Yeah.
The goo. And
I guess, I think
turrets.
looking at Portal 1,
Cube.
like, she wanted to test
Button.
the portal gun, but I think she also wanted to test human creativity.
Yeah, maybe.
But I feel like that's also just me trying to stretch out and like grasp at strings.
I know it's been so long since I played Portal 2.
And it's also an issue where, like, it. I mean,
Wasn't there some kind of thing where she was Cave Johnson's secretary or something?
Oh man, I didn't even think about going to that.
Yeah, what
She
is her
was
name?
based off
Catherine
of-
or something.
No
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah.
No
She was
idea.
based
Caroline.
off of the
That sounds right. That sounds
that's
right.
it. Oh man, remember the revelation where you see like actual Caroline, like just a art of her like upside down in the GLaDOS position.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember that,
Like,
but
You see art of her like.
Oh, was she not upside down? She
No,
was.
she's like in a. I think she's under a blanket or something.
mm-hmm.
I thought
And
she was bound.
It's something like that. She's like this,
Mm-hmm.
and it looks like GLaDOS.
Oh,
And it's creepy and weird when you actually see it.
And like that's right around like for me, I was listening to Cave Johnson just talk. I'm like, I love the way he talks about like his people getting cancer from like moon rocks and like all this dumb shit. And then like I see this thing and I'm like, and then like the next scene he's talking about Caroline, like how important she is. I'm like, yo, what the fuck, dude?
With
Oh, man.
that all said, I really don't even know who to vote on.
yeah.
Dude, my belief of Sephiroth from Kingdom Hearts and like them portraying him that way, I think it keeps it simple enough to be like not too like off-putting.
You might even say it's simple and clean enough.
But I think I'm gonna go with GLaDOS. I think I'll go with her simply because I like how simple and clean her motivations were.
I think I will as well, just because I think how you act on that motivation is what determines the quality of the motivation in most cases.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying, his motivation being, I want to destroy the world and remake it in my own image. Okay,
That's cool.
good for him. The problem is I have no context, so I'm sorry for people who like Sephiroth. It's GLaDOS, just because I do like her motivation is, from what we were talking about briefly, is she wants to test, and that's what she does.
Yeah.
And like, as simple and silly as it is, I like that. I like, this is what I do. This is the thing I do, and I will continue
It's
doing
such a
it.
clear motivation.
Yeah.
Chris?
I like Sephiroth. He's cool. I love
He
Seven,
is awesome.
but I'm gonna have to agree. And GLaDOS just like delivers.
There you go.
Takes the liver out
What
of it.
are you going to choose?
I choose...
Sephiroth to be different? Wow. Rolling the dice, huh?
It's GLaDOS.
It's GLaDOS, yeah, sweep. That might be the first sweep of the entire
I gotta say,
No.
of the entire villain.
Oh yeah.
It might be.
I gotta say, when I was going through and making this list, I actually thought about just taking the villains out entirely
Mm-hmm.
and just saying like, hey, at a later point,
We'll do a whole
we should just
villains
do our
tournament.
own villain brackets. Because going through the games and the TV shows and the movies, there were so many people that I was like, man, I wish they would have made it.
How deep are we?
We are at like an hour 10, and I would normally say the next couple of rounds would be very fast because we've already discussed all of the other characters. But this lovely gentleman has changed the criteria for the next rounds.
Indeed.
So we'll have to have brand new discussions for all of these
It's
new
going to be
matchups.
3 parts. Do we do this right now? Look at Chris.
I'm fading.
This might have to be a to be
This
continued.
might have to be a to be continued.
Well, there you have it.
The April badassness tournament is going to last all fucking April.
Oh, fucking
Yeah.
Well, what are people gonna watch now that they don't have March Madness?
They're gonna watch us.
The April badassness.
Yes.
Oh, please. If you could do something like that. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I'm having fun talking about these characters.
Oh
Yep.
yeah.
I mean,
this is a blast.
it is something that we just would be doing
Exactly.
anyways in our free time.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yep.
all right. Well, see you in part 3.
Farewell.
See
See you guys.